Have you ever met someone who could turn a simple meal into a battlefield? In the cozy, dimly lit corner of Bella's Bistro, Karen Walsh strutted in like she owned the place, her heels clicking with purpose on the hardwood floor. It was a busy Friday night, the air thick with the aroma of garlic and rosemary, laughter bubbling from tables packed with families and friends. But Karen's presence sliced through the warmth like a cold draft. She sat at table 7, her lips pursed, already scanning the menu with a critic's eye, ready to pounce. The trouble began when her bowl of minestrone arrived. The soup was a masterpiece, rich with heirloom tomatoes, fresh basil, and a swirl of olive oil, crafted by Chef Marco, a man who poured his soul into every dish. Karen took one sip, her face twisting as if she'd swallowed vinegar. "This lacks depth," she declared, loud enough for half the restaurant to hear. The waiter, a young man named Eli, froze, his tray trembling. "Ma'am, would you like me to know?" Karen snapped, waving him off. "Tell your so-called chef this is barely better than dishwater. I demand a new bowl, and it better be perfect." Eli scurried to the kitchen, where Marco, a grizzled Italian with flour-dusted hands, listened with a clenched jaw. Karen's voice carried, her complaint a crescendo of entitlement. She mocked the amateur presentation, the lazy seasoning, even the tacky bowl. Patrons nearby exchanged glances, some annoyed, others amused. Marco, however, didn't flinch. He'd dealt with Karen's before. "She wants depth," he muttered to Eli, a glint in his eye. "I'll give her depth." The kitchen buzzed with a new energy, not of panic but of purpose. Marco didn't remake the minestrone. Instead, he ladled a bowl of plain, unsalted broth, watery, pale, and devoid of flavor into a pristine white bowl. He garnished it with a single parsley sprig, a mocking flourish. "Take this to table 7, he said, his voice low but firm. Eli hesitated, sensing trouble, but Marco's stare was unwavering. "She'll get what she asked for." When the bowl arrived, Karen's eyes narrowed. She dipped her spoon, sipped, and froze. The broth was nothing, just warm water with a whisper of herb. Her face flushed red, then purple, as silence fell over her table. The other diners, sensing the shift, leaned in, their forks paused mid-bite. Karen opened her mouth to unleash another tirade, but before she could, a new voice cut through the tension. "Everything all right, ma'am?" It was Rosa, the restaurant's owner, a woman in her 60s with a warm smile but steel in her eyes. Rosa wasn't on the schedule that night. She'd been called in by a frantic server who'd texted about the lady at table 7. Rosa's presence was a twist no one saw coming, not Karen, not Eli, not even Marco. She'd built Bella's Bistro from nothing, and she didn't tolerate chaos in her dining room. "I hear you're unhappy with the soup," Rosa said, her tone calm but laced with authority. Karen, caught off guard, stammered. It's bland. This is an insult." Rosa tilted her head, unfazed. "You said the minestrone lacked depth, so we simplified it for you. Just broth, as you implied we're only capable of. Is that not what you wanted?" The room went still. Karen's jaw dropped, her usual arsenal of complaints useless against Rosa's quiet logic. The other diners stifled laughs, some whispering she got what she asked for. But Karen wasn't done. She stood, her chair scraping loudly, and pointed at the spilled bowl on the floor. She knocked it over in her fury, the broth pooling like a sad metaphor for her outburst. "This is outrageous," she shouted. "I'll ruin this place online. You'll regret this." Rosa didn't blink. "You're welcome to leave a review, ma'am. But let me share something first." She pulled out her phone, revealing a security camera feed. It showed Karen earlier, slipping a hair from her purse into the original minestrone bowl, a classic trick to scam a free meal. The restaurant gasped. Karen's face drained of color. That's not me," she lied, but her voice cracked, betraying her. Rosa smiled thinly. "The camera doesn't lie, ma'am. Unlike some." The diners erupted in murmurs, some clapping, others shaking their heads. Karen's bravado crumbled. She grabbed her purse, her heels clicking faster now as she stormed toward the door. But the final blow came as she passed a table of teenagers, one of whom held up their phone, recording. "Going viral, Karen, the teen called, grinning. The room burst into laughter. Karen fled into the night, her complaints reduced to silence. The spilled broth was mopped up, the minestrone returned to its rightful place on the menu, and Bella's bistro hummed with life again. Rosa, ever the heart of the place, comped a round of drinks for the diners who'd endured the spectacle, turning their annoyance into camaraderie. Marco, back in the kitchen, stirred a fresh pot of soup, humming softly. Eli, still shaken but relieved, whispered to a coworker, "I thought she'd never shut up." By Monday, Karen's Yelp review appeared as scathing, 500-word rant about rude staff and tasteless broth. But the internet wasn't kind. The teen's video had spread, racking up thousands of views on X, with comments piling on. Karen got served, and justice in a bowl. Rosa responded to the review with a single line, "We strive for depth, but some prefer plain broth." The internet roared with approval, and Bella's Bistro saw a surge in reservations, diners eager to taste the now legendary minestrone. The story of Karen's downfall became a local legend, a reminder that entitlement doesn't always win. Rosa kept the security footage saved, just in case, and Marco added a new special to the menu, Karen's Broth, a tongue-in-cheek nod to that night. It was just water with a parsley sprig, and no one ever ordered it, but it stayed on the board, a quiet trophy of justice. In the end, Bella's Bistro thrived, not because it was perfect, but because it was honest. Karen's outburst faded into the noise of the internet, but the lesson lingered. Respect the people who make your food, or you might just get what you deserve. So, what do you think? Did Karen get her just desserts, or was the restaurant too harsh? Share your thoughts. I'd love to hear where you stand.